is an expert, Gordon Chang, who has an op-ed today in the Los Angeles Times, which discusses in great detail what is going on. Gordon Chang, welcome to the Savage Nation.
Thank you so much.
So, Mr. Chang, is Obama really inviting China to share in our naval maneuvers and secrets by participating in these naval exercises?
Yes, we're really inviting China to participate in our RIMPAC 2014 exercises, which are very important because we invite our allies and our friends to work with us so we can improve our readiness and our capabilities. Yet China is a nation which is configuring its Navy to fight us, and this is just something which is just plain wrong, because when China goes to military drills with the United States, and this is not the first one, but it's the largest one, when China participates in these drills, they learn so much in the way of know-how, they get to observe our forces, and we get very little information from them. And so what we're doing is we're increasing their capability to fight us. They tell us that they want to wage war with us. We hear their senior officers talk about fighting the U.S., so this is really very, very wrong.
What does Obama's government hope to accomplish? What the heck are they thinking?
What we're trying to do is avoid the turmoil and the conflict that the world witnessed with the rise of Germany and Japan last century. And the idea is that if we cooperate with the Chinese, they will want to cooperate with us, and therefore China's path into the international system will be eased. That's a great idea. It makes very nice geopolitical theory, but unfortunately it's not working, because as China has become more powerful, it's become not only more assertive, but also more belligerent. And we've seen China grab territory away from other nations in this past year or so, and we've seen China declare that it wants, for instance, Japan's Okinawa and the entire Ryukyu chain. So this is very, very important that we understand China's trajectory. It's not becoming more benign, it's actually becoming worse.
With all of the recent espionage uncovered going on from China, why are they doing this?
For more than a decade, we've known that the Chinese have engaged in the largest cyber espionage campaign in history. They've been at this now for, about 20 years or so. And as we learned from the Washington Post this week, the Chinese have gotten the plans for some very sophisticated U.S. weapon systems, including the F-35 Joint Strike Fighter, Aegis ballistic missile system, and also the PAC-3 ballistic missile defense systems. So this is something that we're not just talking in general. The Chinese have gotten some very important plans. With them, they can counter the effectiveness of our weapons. They can also develop their own weapons much faster without having to go through all the research and development. And also, it helps their arms enterprises to compete with ours on global markets. So this gives China a triple win. Well, clearly China's main territorial initiatives to expand its borders are really to expand its sea borders and to grab islands in the South China Sea and in the East China Sea. So, for instance, China claims that the entire South China Sea is an internal Chinese lake, and that brings us into conflict with the Philippines, Malaysia, Brunei, Indonesia, and Vietnam. It also brings us into confrontation with the United States, because if there's been any consistent foreign policy over the course of 2 centuries, our foreign policy, it has been the defense of freedom of navigation. And we also see the Chinese claiming the Senkaku Islands from the Japanese, and also making noises that it wants Okinawa and the entire Ryukyu chain. So this is something that the Chinese seem to be wanting more and more territory over time. And it, certainly, we're trying to avoid conflict, but I think that what we're doing, though, is by not giving the Chinese any pushback, they're getting a big green light for more territorial claims.
Isn't it